Hi, my name is Cole Carter, and this is my persuasive speech for Mr. Moorhead's communications class. This is my audience.
And I'm number 5.
Hi, my name is Cole Carter, and I would like to tell you about the effects of drugs and why you should avoid them. Drugs are very harmful and can ruin somebody's life. Getting addicted can hurt you in many ways, and knowing the effects of drugs may make you think twice. The amount of drugs used by adolescents and adults, the percentage of people who go to jail, and the effects of drugs may shock you. According to the AmericanAddictionCenter.gov, an estimated 741,000 adolescents suffered from illicit drug use in 2017. The numbers keep on rising. The number one drug used by adolescents is marijuana. Marijuana has been legalized in California, making it much easier for young adults to get their hands on this drug. The rates of marijuana use are mostly responsible for the increase in the use of illicit drugs in the United States over the past years. Marijuana is the most common illicit drug used for the first time. Approximately 7,000 people try marijuana for the first time every day. Out of 2.6 million people who tried marijuana for the first time, over half are under the age of 18. The majority of youths aged 12 to 17 do not perceive a great risk from smoking marijuana. Marijuana had the highest rate of dependence out of all illicit substances in 2011. Many adolescents who get involved with this normally grow up doing drugs. According to the American Addiction Center, the race that suffers from substance abuse the most are American Indians and Alaska Natives. The second most suffering race happens to be white people. Those groups suffer the most. If they understood the effects, then maybe those numbers could go down. Also, many adolescents go to jail because of drugs. According to prisonpolicy.org, over 2,000 teens went to jail for drug abuse in the last 1 year. This information was recorded in 2017. In 2019, the number rose to 4,000 adolescents in jail. To go along with this, worse than jail is death. Around 5,000 teens died due to drug use, most of it caused by driving under the influence. Drugs can cause quite the price. The effects of drugs can have a lifelong impact on a person. When people do drugs, dopamine is released. According to drugabuse.gov, dopamine, which is the happiness chemical in your brain, makes a person feel more rewarded and helps a person relax and forget things. After a while, the brain will start to slow down, and the person will eventually become more numb. They won't be able to function correctly anymore, and their body will start shutting down. VenusHouse.org states, nearly all drugs, directly or indirectly, target the brain's reward system. The overstimulation of this system, which normally responds to natural behaviors that are linked to survival, eating, spending time with loved ones, etc., produces euphoric effects in response to those drugs. This reaction sets in motion a pattern that compels some people to repeat the behavior or abuse more drugs. Overall, drugs are horrible, and they will never, ever benefit you in any way. An allergic reaction can also happen with any drug, illegal or prescription. It can range from itching and rashing all the way to a life-threatening anaphylactic reaction. Some drugs can't help but trigger side effects because of their chemical structure. The common allergy drug, diphenhydramine, also known by the brand name Benadryl, is one. Though it eases allergy symptoms, it also blocks the chemical acetylcholine, and that leads to drowsiness and a host of other side effects, including dry mouth. Some drugs have barely noticeable side effects at the right dose. Typically, warfarin, used to prevent blood clots, usually works well and isn't bothersome. But serious internal bleeding can happen in the wrong situation. Side effects may show up only when a drug is mixed with certain other things. This might be called a drug interaction. For example, drinking alcohol while you're taking narcotic painkillers can cause an accidental overdose. This has led to many deaths. Another example is grapefruit juice, which can affect the blood level of several drugs, including some blood pressure and cholesterol medicines. Drug addiction is an extensive problem that greatly impacts addicted people, as well as their family and society as a whole. Addiction affects people in all walks of life, and it leads to problems that can include financial burdens, relationship difficulties, overdose, health troubles, and an inability to keep up with work, school, and family responsibilities. Brittany Bergender, author of Safety in Numbers and certified personnel coach, once said, "Recovery is hard. Regret is harder. If you start drugs, you're going to regret it once the damage is done. Be smart. Avoid the use of a substance, and if you know anybody who is doing drugs, try to persuade them yourself to not do it anymore." Thank you so much for your time. Here's my audience.
Good job.
Thank you so much, Mr. Moorhead.